Bully makes his cop father arrest new black girl unaware she's a judge's daughter. Sometimes, the most dangerous mistake a bully can make is assuming they already know your story. At Ridgeway High School, reputations were built on sneakers, last names, and how loudly you could laugh at someone else's pain. It was a place where first impressions stuck like glue, and rumors traveled faster than facts. If you came from money, you were respected. If you came from power, you were feared. But if you came in quietly, head down, shoes scuffed, voice soft, you were invisible, until someone decided to make you a target. That was exactly what happened the day a new black girl walked into Ridgeway wearing a simple sweater, braids neatly tied back, and eyes that held more calm than most students twice her age. No designer bag. No loud friends. No dramatic entrance. Just a polite smile and a folded schedule in her hand. She didn't know it yet, but within a week, she would be standing in handcuffs. She didn't know that a boy with a famous last name and a badge-wearing father would decide she was his next toy. And he certainly didn't know that the quiet girl he tried to destroy was the daughter of the very judge who would soon decide his family's fate. This is a story about power, arrogance, silence, and the shocking moment when the truth steps into the light. Stay with me. Because what happens next changes everything. When Amara Johnson walked into Ridgeway High for the first time, no one paid attention. That wasn't unusual. Ridgeway was used to loud arrivals, new kids showing off sneakers that cost more than rent, parents arguing with counselors about AP placements, siblings of former football stars receiving automatic respect. Amara did none of that. She wore clean white sneakers, a gray hoodie, and carried a single notebook. Her posture was straight, her eyes calm, and her movements deliberate, like someone who'd learned long ago that confidence didn't need noise. Ms. Daniels, the front office secretary, smiled politely. New student? Yes, ma'am. Name? Amara Johnson. The name didn't ring bells. That, too, would soon change. At the opposite end of the school stood Tyler Reeves. Tyler didn't walk, he strutted. Letterman jacket. Gold chain. Laugh loud enough to turn heads. Son of Officer Mark Reeves, one of the most well-known cops in the district. Everyone knew Tyler. Teachers tolerated him. Security guards looked the other way. Students either feared him or tried desperately to impress him. Because if Tyler had a problem with you, his father usually had one too. And people learned quickly, problems followed. Amara met Tyler in the cafeteria. She was sitting alone, calmly reading while eating an apple and a sandwich from home. Tyler slid into the seat across from her without asking. New girl, he smirked. You lost? No, Amara replied calmly. Tyler blinked. He wasn't used to calm. You sure? Because nobody sits here unless I say so. Amara looked around the nearly empty table. It didn't have your name on it. A few nearby students froze. Tyler leaned forward. You got jokes? No. I have boundaries. That was the first mistake. Tyler laughed loudly, standing up. All right. We'll see how long you last here. Amara didn't respond. She simply returned to her book. But Ridgeway had already noticed. By Wednesday, Amara's locker had been taped shut. By Thursday, someone poured milk into her backpack. By Friday, whispers followed her through the halls. Think she's poor. Heard she got kicked out her last school. She thinks she's better than everyone. All lies. And they all came from Tyler. But Amara said nothing. She cleaned her bag, peeled the tape, and walked quietly through it all. Her calm only irritated him more. The following Monday, Tyler went too far. He slipped a small bag of prescription pills into Amara's locker. Then he texted his father. Tyler, Dad, there's a new girl dealing drugs at school. You might want to check it out. Officer Reeves didn't ask questions. He arrived with 2 squad cars. Sirens echoed across Ridgeway's front lawn. Students pressed their faces to the windows. The principal panicked. And Amara was called to the office. "Amara Johnson," Officer Reeves said sternly, "open your locker." Her fingers trembled slightly, but her face remained calm. She turned the lock. The pills fell out. Gasps filled the hallway. Officer Reeves immediately grabbed her wrist. "You're under arrest for possession of controlled substances." Amara blinked in shock. "That's not mine." Tyler stood nearby, pretending to look surprised. Officer Reeves tightened the cuffs. "Tell it to the station." Students whispered. Some recorded. Amara's eyes searched the crowd, not for pity, but for understanding. None came. She was led away in handcuffs. And Tyler smiled. Inside the squad car, Amara finally spoke. "May I make a phone call?" Officer Reeves hesitated. Then nodded. Amara dialed a number from memory. 1 ring. 2. Then a calm, powerful voice answered. "Johnson residence." "Dad," Amara said softly. "I've been arrested." The line went silent. Then. "Where are you?" What Tyler Reeves didn't know was that Amara Johnson wasn't just any new girl. Her father wasn't just anyone. Her last name wasn't unknown. And by the time Officer Reeves pulled into the station, a very important judge was already getting into his car. The holding room at Ridgeway Police Station was cold. Amara sat on the metal bench with her hands cuffed in front of her, eyes lowered, not in shame, but in thought. The walls smelled faintly of disinfectant and old coffee. A ticking clock hung crookedly above a faded bulletin board. She hadn't cried. Not because she wasn't scared, but because she knew something Tyler Reeves did not. And so did Officer Mark Reeves, though he didn't realize it yet. The front doors of the station burst open 40 minutes later. Conversation died instantly. Phones stopped ringing. Pens paused mid-air. Even the desk sergeant straightened. A tall man in a charcoal suit stepped inside, his expression calm but his presence commanding. His silver hair was neatly trimmed. His eyes were sharp, familiar to anyone who had ever stood in a courtroom hoping for mercy. Judge Elijah Johnson had arrived. And he was not smiling. "Where is my daughter?" he asked quietly. The room froze. Officer Reeves turned slowly. "Sir." Judge Johnson took out his wallet and flipped it open. "You will address me as Your Honor." The badge numbers suddenly didn't feel so shiny anymore. Amara was brought out moments later. Her father's face softened the second he saw her. "Are you hurt?" he asked gently. "No, Dad," she replied calmly. "But I was set up." Officer Reeves cleared his throat. "The pills were found in her locker." "I know," Amara said. "Because someone put them there." Her father turned his eyes on Officer Reeves. "And you arrested a minor on campus without verifying evidence, witnesses, or surveillance footage?" The silence was deafening. "We received an anonymous tip," Reeves muttered. "Anonymous," Judge Johnson repeated slowly. "Interesting." Within 10 minutes, the school's security footage was pulled. They watched Tyler slipping down the hallway. Tyler opening Amara's locker. Tyler placing the pills inside. No words. Just undeniable truth. Officer Reeves's face drained of color. Judge Johnson exhaled slowly. "So," he said quietly, "you arrested my daughter, because your son framed her." Tyler was brought into the station shortly after. He swaggered in at first. Until he saw Amara sitting calmly beside her father. His grin vanished. "Dad," he whispered. Officer Reeves wouldn't meet his eyes. Judge Johnson stood. "You accused my daughter of a felony," he said, voice calm but lethal. You humiliated her publicly. You endangered her life. Tyler swallowed. I was just messing around. Do you understand, the judge continued, that your messing around qualifies as criminal evidence tampering, false reporting, and harassment? Tyler's knees buckled. Internal Affairs was notified. The school board was contacted. And within 48 hours, Tyler was expelled. Officer Reeves was placed on administrative leave. Charges were filed for filing a false police report and abuse of authority. Ridgeway High issued a public apology to Amara and her family. But the biggest change came on Monday morning. The walk back in. Amara returned to school. No handcuffs. No whispers. No laughter. The hallways parted as she walked. Students looked down. Teachers straightened. The principal nervously greeted her. She sat at the same cafeteria table Tyler once claimed as his own. Only this time, no one dared tell her to move. The new reputation. People tried to apologize. Some meant it. Some just didn't want trouble. Amara accepted none of it with bitterness, only dignity. She joined the debate team. She volunteered in the counseling office. She became a quiet symbol of something Ridgeway had never respected before. Grace with power. Tyler was transferred to another district. His father eventually resigned. Their name, once feared, became a cautionary tale. Not because they lost status, but because they misused it. One afternoon, Amara stood in her father's chambers after school. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded. "I just didn't expect it to hurt like that." He placed a hand on her shoulder. "Power doesn't hurt people," he said. "People do. And now they know you are not someone to break." She smiled softly. "They know now." And Ridgeway would never forget the day they learned. You never judge a quiet girl by her silence. If this story moved you, surprised you, or inspired you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another powerful story like this one.